Hi everyone, I'm Amar from the cruise team and welcome to today's Cruise Day Tuesday. Today I am delighted to be joined by David from VIVA Cruises. David,
Hi.
how are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along.
No, thank you for being here. So I thought it'd be great for our travel agent partners to know a bit more about yourself and where you are.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're adding the spotlight to VIVA Cruises for this Facebook Live session. So firstly, do you want to introduce yourself and give us an overview of how long you've been with VIVA?
Okay, yeah. So my name's David. I work for VIVA Cruises. I've only been here, this is about week 5, so quite new to VIVA. Been in the travel industry since I was like a teenager, which is many years ago, as we discussed earlier.
Okay.
Worked for the majority of the time in cruise, so worked for some of the big ocean cruise companies and worked in river as well for about 6 years with some other river cruise companies, and recently for sort of an expedition side. So I have covered in the past a vast range of cruise, and now I'm back in the river cruise
So
industry.
you've gone from ocean to expedition,
Yeah.
and now ocean to expedition to river, and then back to river.
Back to river again now. So which is nice. Yeah.
And how you finding your time at VIVA Cruises? I
Really
know
good.
VIVA are relatively new in the UK market. They're not new to travel, but relatively new in the UK market.
Yeah.
How are you finding things?
Yeah, really good. So, as you say, they've only been going as a company since 2018, and then obviously we had those times over COVID as well, where obviously we didn't have an opportunity to get out into the European waters as much. My boss, Michelle Daniels, who I'm sure lots of people know, has done a really great job for the first year in sort of bringing the product to the UK market. Lots of travel partners out there that have experienced our ships, either at Clear or on some ship visits as well. And we just hear how wonderful the ships are from our travel partners that have been on there. So we're really lucky that lots of people have experienced it and have loved it as well, which is great.
I must say, I'm also one of those lucky agents.
Yeah.
I was on board last November in VIVA.
Was it for a special occasion at all?
It was a fun trip, but I did celebrate my 40th birthday on board VIVA Enjoy.
Okay.
So,
did they make a fuss with you?
absolutely, I loved it. I felt like a little boy.
Did you?
The bedroom was all the cabin was all decorated.
Lovely.
Having some cocktails and the cake being walked in.
Yeah. Great.
So really, we'll come on to that a bit later on. But my first impressions, again, I'm very an ocean cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Being on board, VIVA and sailing on some of the rivers is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously river cruising is quite a few years behind where ocean cruising is, and one of my first jobs 20 odd years ago was when bringing ocean cruise to the travel market over here in the UK, and nobody really knew what a cruise was about. We just had a few cruise companies, and what we've done now is ocean cruising is massive, and millions of Brits now go on the UK cruise from the UK, but river cruising is kind of where we were back in those days,
absolutely.
and now that's
grown
starting to come
massively.
through,
Yeah, grown
which is
massively.
great. Yeah.
Fabulous. Right, so today, as I've mentioned, we're putting the spotlight on VIVA Cruises. And I just want to mention, we've received lots of questions in advance. If there are any questions, please put your questions in the chat, and we'll endeavour to answer those questions as we're doing the session. And if we can't get to any of the questions, we'll answer them a bit later on. So, VIVA Cruises, I think it's all, whether you're completely new to cruising or whether you're new to river cruising, hopefully this session will take away lots of product knowledge, a bit more confidence on how to sell VIVA Cruising, and a bit more about river cruising as well. I'll definitely be learning along on the way as well, because I'm very new to river myself. We've had, as I've mentioned, we've had quite a few questions, so drop your questions in, and hopefully David and I will get started.
Yeah.
So David, the first question we've had from our travel agents, what sets VIVA apart from with some of the other river cruise companies?
Yeah.
So what's unique about river?
Yeah, so what's quite interesting is that as the years have gone by, there's quite a lot of river cruise companies that are out in the market now. And for a new river cruise company like ourselves to make an impact, we have to be quite different. We have to do things slightly differently. And one of the key things is that we're very international. So you'll find lots of international guests on board our ship. And we also sort of are looking for, or attracting a younger demographic, which is quite interesting as well. And certainly when the British customers and people from the UK are starting to travel over there, we're starting to see sort of a slightly younger demographic. People that might want to go on city breaks, that like to spend their time in sort of nicer boutique type of hotels.
Yeah.
And instead of sort of being in one position for 3, 4, 7 nights, and then they're experiencing lots of different towns and lots of different cities in a boutique hotel way. And that's the type of people that we're attracting. The ships that we've got are stunning, and as you know, because you've experienced on, and the decor that we've got on board is very different to a lot of the other cruise lines the river cruise lines out there. So we're more contemporary, just a very nice feel. Obviously, we're actually owned by Skiller, the operation is Skiller, and they, as a company, actually build and provide ships for other river cruise companies out there.
Yeah.
And what actually was decided was them as a business that they were going to actually set their own river cruise company up, and this is where Viva was born from. So we actually have the best hardware, the best ships, the best staff on our river cruise, and we've learned from what all the other river cruise companies have done in the past, and it feels like we've taken the best bits of it, and this is where Viva's come about.
Absolutely. Until you mentioned doing something different. I think for me, again, I've sailed on a couple of river cruise, with some river cruise suppliers. What was different about Viva Enjoy, the ship I was on, was a split from going from you're in the lounge area, and then you've got the bar. You can just walk over to the. It's that split between the lounge and the bar, and also the split between the ground floor and the first deck.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to sort of redesigning ships, not only are we doing it physically with the actual ships itself, so we've got split levels, which you've never seen before on a river cruise ship. So if anyone's ever been on a river cruise, you'll know that you'll have your separate decks, but on the new generation ships that we've got, it's actually opened it up, so you've got all this light coming through, and it's just a real different design and a different feel. And I'd get people to look at that and see pictures of that, because it looks phenomenal, and it's a really different experience. But that's the hardware, but also what we offer on board is slightly different as well. So we're all about freedom, about flexibility, about choice as well. And what we don't want is that if you were to go on a city break, you don't want to be so told that when you're in this city that you have to do this tour at this time and go and see this place at that time. You want the freedom, you want the flexibility, and you want the choice, and that is what we offer when you're on board our ships, which is great. And so we include, and we'll come on to that in a moment, but there's lots of inclusivity that we've got. But what we don't do is actually make people go on the shore excursions, and we don't include the shore excursions because people might just want to go off. And I'm a moocher. I like to go to coffee shops. I like to go out and explore the place on my own. I've literally come back off a VIVA cruise last week, and I was going into these beautiful towns and cities, finding these lovely coffee shops, having a coffee, watching the world go round, watching the world go by. And if there was something I specifically wanted to do, which a tour was needed, then I booked myself on the tour, and I went to a UNESCO site for windmills in Holland, which was phenomenal, really, really interesting. But I wouldn't have been able to do that myself. I needed a tour to take me to that. But
basically, you want to do stuff when you want to do it, rather than be led by. By the cruise.
That's it. And in some river cruise that you have, the excursions are included, and you feel like you have to do it because you kind of paid for it in your price up front. And we don't want people to have to feel that they need to do it. If they want to do it, it's there for them to do it.
We did a bike ride.
Did you?
Yeah, we did a bike ride.
I'd like to see pictures of that as well.
I've probably got some pictures.
Okay.
So we did a bike ride, which was fantastic.
Brilliant.
Like I said, we've had quite a few questions, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So one of the other questions was, or one of the biggest concerns for agents and customers is hidden costs.
Yes.
What's actually included in the cruise fare for a VIVA cruise?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, because people do worry about, well, how much is it when you get on, but how much is it when you get off? That's always a worry as well. So the great thing with us is that pretty much everything is included. So you pay your upfront price, and if you book through JTA and book for you guys, you're going to package it together. So you'd have your flights included in that, you'd have your hotels, the transfers, and then when you're on board the ship itself, then everything is included. So you have your meals, and the great thing with our ships, our new generation ships, actually have 3 different dining options on board as well. And I know you experienced that when you were on board.
We were on board. Well, we experienced all 3 of them. We went to the bistro,
lovely,
Viva Moments, and then
the main dining room.
Absolutely.
And it's great. So, and again, that's where the freedom, flexibility, and choice comes in. So the freedom and flexibility that you have there is that you can turn up and eat in any of those restaurants, complimentary. And you don't even have set dining times and set tables. So if you want to eat at 8:15 with a new group of friends that you've made, then you can turn up at the riverside and then sit down and eat with them. So that's great. That gives you that element of.
I think for me personally, what I also noticed, like I said, as I mentioned, I did celebrate my birthday on board as well. It was just it was the personal touches. Personal touches from decorating the room, so when we dined at the bistro, the table was all decorated.
Nice,
The staff knowing you by name. So it was very, not formal, but it was very relaxed. So calling you by your first name, rather than saying Mr. Hussein. So it was very, friendly and relaxed atmosphere, which was fantastic.
And that's great.
The other thing which I think for our travel agent partners, how about like drinks, gratuities, are they included?
Yeah,
in the fare as well? Or?
Yeah, so that's all included. So gratuities are included in the price if you want to, and obviously we do have international guests on board who do like to tip, so we will never turn that down, obviously. But you don't have to do that. It's all included in the price. Drink wise. I was quite blown away by this. You have your own mini bar in your room, and that's stocked as well. And if there's a particular sort of soft drinks or beers even that are in there, a welcome bottle of bubbly in your room, which is always nice. But then throughout the day, there's coffee stations where you can get coffee. Everybody gets a refillable water bottle, and you can utilise that to take out on your tours and have around the ship, and you can obviously get that. But alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks are available all day, every day, all included in the price. It's not just beer and wine with dinner like a lot of people offer. If you want cocktails, if you want champagne at breakfast, then it's there, and it's all levels of alcohol, or soft drinks, and all available. So that's great. You don't have to worry about a bar bill at the end.
Funny, I just want to. So you've mentioned about a bottle of bubbly. So you get given a bottle of prosecco on arrival. So on one of I think we actually watched boxing on one of the evenings that I was on board. The bars stopped serving. So I had my bottle of prosecco in my room.
So you bought it up.
So we bought it. We bought it and carried on. So that is, I think, again another a great way of giving back, or saying if you wanted some drinks, bottle of bubbles in your room.
And very classy. Watching the boxing, drinking champagne.
Absolutely, So we leave that for another day. I'm just conscious of time as well. Just want to go through the questions that have been asked. So one of the other questions, what's a typical, I know you've touched on this, but age demographic on board Viva?
So river cruising, by its design, is generally for older people that have retired. They tend to be utilising that as a bucket list thing that they want to do. However, we're seeing that the age is sort of much lower, around our sort of bracketed myself in your area, older than yourself, but our sort of generation. The cruise that I was on last week, there were families. There was actually children on board, and I think the girl was 9, the brother was 14, and his cousin was 14 or 15, and they were there with their parents, and they were there with their parents. So it's sort of multi-generational, which is great to see. People just seem to be a little bit younger, and there were retired people on there, but I think it's just a much more wider range of age groups, but also nationalities as well. We are looking to be international. All the language is in English first of all, and then other languages after that, and that's spoken and messages and any written literature as well. So you'll see that English is the first language on board.
Amazing, because I also again noticed the same thing when I was on board. It was definitely like three different generations. Because when you're on any cruise, tend to talk to people, and I do anyway. Yeah. You talk to customers, you talk to travel agents, and there was a family, and the daughter probably must have been, I think, a teenager. She was with her mum, and then the grandma was also on board as well. So 3 different generations.
Multi-generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Fabulous. The other questions was, which rivers do Viva sail on? Are there any rivers that you don't sail on, or what's?
So any of the main rivers of Europe, so the ones that you would expect to go to, we'll have ships there. We do sort of home port, if you like, from Dusseldorf, which is where our head office is. So a lot of our cruises can start from there, which is a great city anyway. But obviously, if you want to be going into Amsterdam and you want to go through whichever river that we've got in Europe, then we have ships there. We do go into some of the smaller rivers at the top of Germany as well, which is quite unusual. And the cruise that I was on last week was sort of the waterways and canals around sort of Amsterdam and Rotterdam and sort of that northern Holland and Belgium area, which is quite unique. I've never been there before, and as I say, I've worked for river cruise companies in the past. It's quite a unique place to go, and that was really lovely because it's always nice to go somewhere new, isn't it? So so we've got that, and I think we're going to touch on it in a moment as well. We've got another sub-brand called our boutique side, and they go to 2 slightly different rivers, but we'll talk about that towards the end.
Perfect. And what about any exciting news about new ships or destination? Are there any new ships that are coming up in coming years? Or?
So we'd say we're probably the youngest fleet that there is out there. And for the last 4 years, we've had a new ship each year, which is really exciting. So for the Viva brand, we'll be continually bringing new ships out. But as I mentioned, we've got Viva Boutique, which is very new to us. The ship was actually launched just last month. So our first ship, and that goes out of the River Seine in Paris, and that's part of our boutique brand, which is something new. It's an elevated service. It's more for your city breakers. So you can go on these cruises down the Seine, experience Paris and the surrounding areas. Next year, our second ship will be Viva Unique, which is part of the boutique brand, and that is going to be down on the River Po, and the River Po is down in Venice. Now, we know that all the big ocean cruise liners are not allowed in Venice anymore, and so there's only river cruise ships down there, and there's only 2 other river cruise companies down there and ourselves. So we're really excited to be one of the chosen few where customers can use our ships and experience the Seine and Venice as well. But also, when we're not actually sailing the 7-night cruises, you can actually use these ships as hotels, and we do 3-night packages where you can fly over to Paris or fly over to Venice, and you can actually stay on board one of our ships. It doesn't sail, but you use it for a 3-night boutique hotel. Everything on board is what you'd expect from our beautiful river cruise ships and all the inclusivities, but the ship doesn't sail anywhere, but the value for money is fantastic, because you wouldn't get that in a boutique hotel in Paris or Venice, so it's definitely worth looking at.
So if there's any, like, let's just say if there's any events like F1, or if there's anything happening around the world, they can use the ship as a hotel.
Okay, and if you wanted to just go to Paris for a few days with your half, if you, a group of girls or a group of boys that want to go together and just have a nice few days away, it's a really good way to do it. I did it with my family last year, not on our ship, but as a family. It was very expensive where we stayed, and we weren't right by the Eiffel Tower on the river. We were quite a way out. We had to get trams and tubes. But it would have been perfect if we could have all been together on the ship, using it as a floating hotel, if you like. It's a great. And it's something that
great concept.
It's a great concept. I've never seen it before. I've never known that people to do this, and it really attracts that younger sort of boutique hotel, city break type clientele. So yes, you can do that in Paris, and next year you'll be able to do that in Venice, in Italy.
Fabulous. One of the other questions we've had, foodies. We know Viva is a foodie. Food is a huge part of most people's holiday. Absolutely. Are there any exceptions? I know you touched on it's all about flexibility, but are there any exceptions in terms of where someone's dining? Are there any additional charges for the specialty dining, or if they had a steak, or are they?
Yeah, no,
additional cost?
there's no additional cost. Everybody's invited to the Riverside, which is the main restaurant, for breakfast, lunch and dinner. As I say, you just turn up within the period of time that it's open. So they're generally open for about 2-hour periods each time. You just turn up with who you want, and you can sit where you want at whatever time. If you want to eat in the bistro or moments, which is, the moments are actually on the new generation ships. So the new generation ships have 3 places to eat. Everywhere else generally has 2. But if you want to eat in there, it's no additional cost, but you just need to make a reservation because it only holds a certain amount, generally about 28 people. So, but they're open lunch and dinner, and you can eat in there, no additional cost. All your drinks are included in with the food as well. And I was in the bistro, and it was just nice to have a burger or fish and chips. I think we had.
That's what we had as well.
Did you? Yeah. So it's just nice, sort of, a bit of a break away from sort of the main dining room experience. But in the main dining room, the food is phenomenal there as well, which I'm sure you experienced. But it's not really buffet as such. There is buffet stuff that you can get for breakfast and lunch, but generally there is a menu that you can order from, which is nice. Yeah.
Right. So moving on to wellness. So wellness is becoming increasingly important to all UK or non-UK travelers. What are the the standouts, or what are the facilities on board VIVA Cruises?
So again, on the new generation ships, there's a slightly larger area, but I was on Viva 1, which was it's a new ship, but not the new generation style. And on board there, we had a sort of sauna area, massage area, sort of wellness spa area, and also a gym on board, which is great. And then you get that also on the other ships. There's a yoga room on the new generation ships, and it's something that we encourage. And interestingly, I went down there on day 5 of a 7-day cruise, and there were people using the gym. Now, usually on any other ship that I've been on, day 1 it's busy, day 2 it's a little less busy, and by the end of it, there's no one in there at all. So people were using the gym and the spa. Again, is great if you're sort of a younger group of people that want to go away and have a bit of a pamper. Imagine the girls going away for a weekend. Use the spa equipment, use the ship, use it as a boutique hotel. Use it yourself. Get your nails done.
Shore excursions. So how do they work on? Are they included?
Yes. So like with the flexibility and freedom and choice, we don't include. That's one of the things that we don't include in the price as such. But you can choose to do them. You have an English-speaking guide, and there'll be another area for other language as well. But there will always be an English-speaking guide there. I did this wonderful windmills one in the UNESCO windmill site, which was wonderful. Price-wise, it's so reasonable as well, because we want people to do it if they want to, but we don't want price to be a factor to put them off. So really good price. I think mine was a sort of a 5-hour trip with a coach to get to the place, and had freedom to get in and go around and go into these windmills. And it's about €60 or something like that. You can do walking tours and bus tours for like €19. So really good pricing if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Just go off and do your own thing.
Perfect. And then, how can agents book VIVA Cruises? Can they book? Is it cheap? I mean, can they book a fly cruise directly with VIVA, or
if an agency doesn't have an ATO license, the best way is to go through you guys. So contact JTA. If you've got an inquiry, then you guys, JTA, will be able to do that for them. You will also have some packages that I believe that you've put together, which any agent can sell into. So best way to do it, contact JTA, and they're very well trained. They've been on our ships. They know what we're all about, and they'll be able to do that for you.
And we will be sharing a couple of offers once this post goes live. So there will be a couple of offers that are repackaged offers for VIVA that you'll be able to find in the comments as well. I think you touched upon this earlier on, David. VIVA Boutique. There's been a lot of noise around VIVA Boutique. Do you want to talk a bit more about VIVA Boutique and what does that actually mean?
So VIVA Boutique is a bit of a sub-brand. as I say, the first ship came out just a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, cruising down the Seine, and then next year we'll have VIVA Unique, which is the second ship, which will be on the River Po down in Venice. Again, it's taking Viva but to the next level. Everything's sort of slightly enhanced on there. It's more curated for the places that you're going to. So the excursions, the food, the entertainment will be based around Paris or based around Venice. So you'll really immerse yourself into the place that you're going to. So it's Viva, but a step, another level, a step up. Yeah.
Ultra luxury Viva.
Yeah, you can probably put us into this sort of luxury, into the luxury bracket a bit more than Viva. We don't ever say we're luxury, but I think for the price that you're paying and the value and what you're getting, it's phenomenal value for money, and it does put us in a good bracket like that.
Fabulous. And I think that those were all the questions that came up. So I just want to remind our travel agent partners in terms like for marketing. So today you'd be receiving a Solus e-shop for Norwegian Cruise Line. Tomorrow it'll be the usual top 10. And there'll be a Viva offer within the top 10 e-shop. And then on Saturday it'll be a Solus e-shop for Seabourn. And that's about it really. I think, thank you again for coming to see us.
Yeah.
And if again, any questions, please drop us a note, whether it's on social or give us drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. But for now, I think that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.